Welcome to Ghoulish Gab, always spooky, always under 7 minutes. Today we're going to talk about some underrated monsters or villains in horror movies. Some that we feel just don't get the love that they need. They don't get all the attention that the Freddys and the Jasons get.
Yeah, we're not talking Art the Clown here. We're not talking new and shiny or old and decrepit. We're talking ignored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to start with Pumpkinhead.
Okay.
I fucking love the look of Pumpkinhead. And if you're not familiar, it's not a guy with a pumpkin on its head. That was done later on. It looks more like something out of Alien.
I was going to say, it's like if Alien mated with a pumpkin.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. It's probably like in the director's notes or whatever. And it's very creepy. And it has that kind of that slender body like the alien and the movement and kind of the bigger head. And it's creepy. I mean, Pumpkinhead there's probably only one great film. The first one is great. I love it. I think that one definitely gets respect. But this Pumpkinhead is ripe for a remake as well. Somebody could take that and just make it creepier. It's like a fucking blood demon. It's scary. It's an alien. It looks like an alien. It's scary as shit. The sequels kind of were lame, so it didn't get an everlasting legacy. So Pumpkinhead needs more love, but they need to bring that motherfucker back.
I think that the fact that the sequels were lacking is probably why it could really benefit from a remake.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a second chance. My first one is actually, it's a part of a big franchise, is the Tall Man from Phantasm. And yeah. I don't know why the Tall Man isn't included in a lot of these classic horror discussions. Because, I mean, it's right in the timeline, like the 80s, where it's like heyday. And so the Tall Man, creepy because A, old dudes are creepy. Old dudes that want to take over the world are especially creepy. So we don't like that. And I think another thing is that he's so powerful. Like, so the idea being that he was this Union Army medic and then traveled through this portal and then came back, and now he has all these powers, and he's no longer nice. He was a nice guy when he was Jebediah, but now he's no longer nice. And the idea, I think, is that he was possessed by something when he was over in these other worlds. But either way, I think he is thoroughly creepy. He doesn't have like the monster aspect, but he has everything else. And I don't think he's given enough credit for and he also has that whole, he always comes back. Like, I feel like every movie ends with like, okay, we finally defeated him. And then boom, there he is.
Nah, bitch, I'm back. I also feel like a lot of times people will talk about Phantasm and they might not even mention him, which is weird, just because there's other things about the movie that they like, the balls.
Which are controlled by the Tall Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Or just kind of the atmosphere of the whole movie. So yeah, I agree with you there. Do you remember the movie Splice?
Yes, I do remember.
Yeah.
You did talk about Dren.
That shit's creepy. It's creepy. And I do see that movie come up now and then, but I don't think that I would consider... I think that I would consider Dren an underrated monster, creature, villain. It's so disgusting. I mean, the whole movie...
The fact that they fucked both of their parents is creepy enough on its own.
It's icky. There's icky things going on.
The actual creature itself is frightening.
Yeah. So underrated. We never saw any sequels. I don't know if sequels are needed. But, give Dren some more love.
I'm going to go with a one-movie character, as far as I know anyway. I've only seen the one. Evan Rendell Jr. from Dr. Giggles.
Yeah.
Hear me out. The dentist is already creepy. A lot of people hate the dentist. He's obsessed with medical experiments. His voice just is in your head and kind of creepy. And he's got the stalker aspects. I'm not saying that there's anything crazy about him either way, but I do think that movie doesn't get enough credit for how good the villain is.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good movie. If you haven't seen that one, definitely
Dr. Giggles.
Check that one out.
It sounds ridiculous because of the title, but I promise you will not be disappointed.
Another one from the 80s that doesn't really come up all that much. the movie 976 Evil. And there was a sequel, but the original film...
It's like a call line?
Yeah, it was... people probably don't really know about 976 numbers. I could spend almost 7 minutes trying to explain that to you. But you'll have to do your own research. And this movie was directed by Robert Englund. And it didn't really launch his directing career like he thought, probably. But the villain in there, played by Stephen Jeffries, his name is Hoax Wilmoth, and he kind of ends up, he calls this 976 number and then ends up taking on these demonic qualities, and so his like final creature form, I think it's underrated when it comes to talking about some of the 80s creatures, villains, etc. So that's one that you should take a look into. 976 Evil, totally worth a watch if you're into the 80s stuff and haven't seen it yet as well.
My final one quick is I'm going to say Marlowe and the Other Vampires from 30 Days of Night. Vampires are not underrated. They are done a lot. But the fact that, first of all, Danny Houston played Marlowe, and that was really well done. And the fact that they are incorporated multiple aspects of vampire lore while not doing everything overdone, and the fact that the vampires were not sexy. They were like, no, we're making them creepy, not sexy. And it's just, they're fast and strong. I think that those vampires, if I was going to encounter any vampire out in the world, those would be the vampires I would be most terrified of.
All right, tell us some of your underrated monsters, creatures, villains from horror movies, the ones that you think deserve more love. Okay, bye.